today I am feeling slumpy. I just finished filming. Okay, here's the situation. I was reading Holt's Peril, part of the Ranger's Apprentice series. I'm like absolutely obsessed with the series. But that book, it just like kind of slumped me out. And I mean, like, you can watch my like video where I read that. I'll like link it somewhere. But then I proceeded to DNF a book and soft DNF a book. So I am feeling a little bit slumpy. And you know what that means? We're gonna resort to random measures. So if you don't know, this is my TBR jar. It is like my pride and joy accomplishment. And I also have a video setting this up. And there are so many books in here that I am excited to read that I think are 5-star predictions that I just like want to get to, but like I don't remember them in my brain, if that makes sense. So what I'm gonna do is this video is not gonna end until we find a 5-star to get like help me get out of my slump, and we're gonna do that by picking from the TBR jar. The only exception is next Tuesday, so in like 3 or 4 days for me, Go Luck Yourself comes out, and it is the sequel to, I mean, it's a series of connected standalone, but sequel to The Nightmare Before Christmas, which I absolutely adored. And it's just like a silly fun time, and I think that one's also gonna be a silly fun time. And so in a couple days, if I've not found a 5-star, which I don't know, maybe I will, maybe I won't, maybe this video will be short. But I will be reading that one when it comes out, hopefully. I mean, like, I'll have to like put it on hold, presumably. The first one I only had to wait like 3 or 4 weeks for. But alright. Also, there is a limitation. Since I'm studying abroad right now, I only have access to e and audiobooks via Libby. So if the book I pull does not have an e or audiobook, I have my like computer right in front of me, then it will go back in the jar and I will pull another book. So without further ado, let me put the lid back on, shake it up for no apparent reason. I always feel so fun doing that. Okay, and then close my eyes, also for no apparent reason. This one is like calling to me. What is it? Tarnished Are the Stars. Tarnished Are the Stars by Rosie Thor. All right, let me look and see if this has an e or audiobook on Libby. Okay, so we will be putting this one back in the jar. I'll probably just like set it aside and put it back in the jar later, because while my Libby does have an e and audiobook in their system, they don't actually own a copy of it. So I'll put notify me. So maybe it'll come up later, but for now, yeah, not for now. Okay, let's draw a new book. We're gonna shake it up again. There are some books in here that I actually really don't want to read, and if we get those, I'm just gonna also put them to the side. There's like some long series, like there's the first books of like some series, or there's like entire series. What do we got? You'll Never Believe Me by Carly Farrell. All right. This looks like maybe a nonfiction, and I'm just like really not vibing with nonfiction right now, so if it's a nonfiction, we'll also put it back. Okay, so this book is a memoir by Carly Farrell, and it looks like it's supposed to be very humorous, but also the hold on it is 12 to 14 weeks, so it will not be read now anyway. So I will put that one to the side, and we will pull a third one. Third time's the charm. Where's the lid? Let's pull one. Let's try and pull one from the bottom. Okay, we're not reading this. It's Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. This is one of the ones I was specifically thinking about. This is the first Wheel of Time book. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. When I'm feeling slumpy, like, if it's like one of the later books in a fantasy series, then like it's fine because like I'm introduced to the world, but like Absolutely not. I'm not. No. I have too much time. I just like completely looked at that. Even though it doesn't matter. Shake it more. Alright, let's try and pull one from the middle. This one? Oh, this is Most Ardently. Okay, so I actually am like a Pride and Prejudice hater, but this one is gay, so it like drew me in. I actually hope this one does have an available audiobook or ebook. Let me look. Okay, so this one does have an audiobook and an ebook available. I don't know why I'm holding it up. I'm gonna put a cover there. But it says it's number 9 in a series, and I'm really hoping it's just like connected standalones. Let's see, My Dear Henry, Teach the Torch to Burn. Oh, but also My Library. Okay, wait. Let me look into this series, because also each one is written by a different author, so maybe each author just like remixed a classic. Let me look. Okay, so the first book I'm gonna read is Most Ardently by Gabe Cole Novoa. And this is a remixed classic of Pride and Prejudice, and it's from a series that it's called the Remix Classic series. And the little summary is, in the Remix Classic series, authors from marginalized backgrounds reinterpret classic works through their own cultural lenses to subvert the overwhelming cis-het white and male canon. So this one, it follows from, I don't like to like read too much of the summary to like, I like to like just get a vibe of it, but it seems like it's a trans boy who is looking for love and looking for a future where he can be himself. So it says that like readers of this book also enjoy Celestial Monsters by Aidan Thomas. Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas, 5-star read for me. So that bodes well. And then Nightmare Before Christmas by Sarah Rash, which is the book I was talking about earlier, that like also a 5-star read for me. So like this one has potentials to be 5 stars. So, but also it's a Pride and Prejudice retelling. Oh, let me tell you, I think I mentioned it earlier. I'm a Pride and Prejudice hater. I watched the movie. I don't get the hype. The whole like, and I watched it at Knitting Club too, and everyone was like, the hand clench, and I'm like, what do you mean the fucking hand clench? Like, that doesn't mean anything. I don't know. I'm not a Mr. Darcy stan. He's like kind of an asshole. And I don't like it. But yeah, Most Ardently will be the first book that I read. I'm actually excited for this. I hope it's a 5 stars. Okay, I will come back when, either with an update for the book or when I'm done with it. Alright, I'm back. It is the same day, but I am going to be DNFing Most Ardently. I got 25% of the way through, so I gave it a good chance. I gave it a quarter, but I just like don't care for Pride and Prejudice stories. I don't like Pride and Prejudice. I don't get it. Like, Mr. Darcy in this is just as much of an asshole as he is previously, so yeah. Let me pull up my Libby, and we are going to pull from the TBR jar again, and then double check that it's actually on Libby. Oh wait, I'll wait for my computer to connect to the internet. There we go. So let's pull one out of the jar. Ooh. So this is one of the books in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. This one is Good Girl, Bad Blood. Let's see. If this is the second one, then I'll consider it. I mean, like, if it's available, which it's a popular series, so maybe not. But let me check. So this is the second book, but there's a hold of at least 4 to 6 weeks, so I will be putting it back. I've said previously that I don't think I would really like reach for the second book because the first one like ends on a good note. But I guess if it was available, I would have read it. But let's pick a new one. Ooh, this could be good. So this is Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. This is one of my like 25 books in 2025. So I've been like thinking about this book, and I think it's like queer necromancers. So picking a second queer book. Let me check that it's available. So it's like it's available on Libby, but it has a hole. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure I've seen this on Hoopla. And normally I assume nothing is on Hoopla because Hoopla has just like the weirdest selection of books. But they do have Gideon the Ninth. It is 10 p.m. so my library may be out of borrows for the day. Let's see, Moment of Truth, borrow. Yay, I got it. So Gideon the Ninth, a queer fantasy with necromancers. Let me look up what it's actually about. So just so I don't like spoil myself anymore, because again, I don't like to delve too deep into what books are about before I go into them, but just these 3 lines is enough to like get me interested. The Emperor needs necromancers. The 9th necromancer needs a swordsman. Gideon has a sword, some dirty magazines, and no more time for undead bullshit. That's the vibes I need. So I will let you know my update on Gideon the Ninth, and hopefully this is a 5-star and like actually gets me to finish the book and get me out of my reading slump. Bye. Hello. So it is the next day and I just thought I would give you an update. I just kind of needed some background noise earlier, so I did end up finishing Chinese Cinderella. I mean, it's fine. Yeah, I think I just like wasn't in the mood for it, which like that's so hard. But back to Gideon the Ninth. I am really enjoying it. I'm like 20% of the way through. I just finished part 1. So I think I'm like 19% of the way through, but I am really enjoying it. I'm kind of confused, but I'm also just kind of like vibing with it. So if you didn't know, it follows these necromancers and they are trying to ascend into what's called lictorhood, which I think is just like a higher form of being. I don't know, but it's like the previous lictors were like, they've slowly died off, and like there's the first king who's been around for like 900 years, and so the like head child of each household can now come to the first planet or the first kingdom. What are they called? The first house. And they can like basically attempt to become a lector, and they each get to bring, what are they called, a caster or something like that? I don't remember, even though it's been like 2 seconds since I stopped reading. But it's basically like a protector or a swordsman, or swordswoman. So Gideon is our main character, and she was an orphan on the 9th house, which is like this very creepy, very dreary place. And she has been trying to escape since she was 4 years old, and she's like 20-ish now. And Harrow / Nona. I know the other books are Harrow the Ninth and Nona the Ninth, but like the other character, she is called both. So I'm not exactly sure what her deal is, but she's also just kind of a bitch, and I love her for that. Honestly, she is iconic. But she is the like sitting princess. What is she called? The daughter of the house, something like that. Again, not exactly entirely sure about the politics of this world so far, but she is like 99% skeleton, like 99.999% skeleton. And she is the like necromancer that has gone with. So Harrow and Gideon have now gone to the first house, and they've basically gotten their instructions, and they're like, actually there are no instructions, because how do we know how to become a lector? That's your job. Like, I don't know how to, like the priest guy, they call him teacher, which like is kind of weird to me. But he's like, I don't know how to become a lector. Like, that's your job to figure out. And so that's like the opening, that's the setup. Like I said, I'm very confused about the politics of the world. I feel like it's not explained at all. I feel like I saw some review somewhere that like it starts off very slow but gets really good later on. So I'm kind of hoping that's where it is. Like, that's what's gonna happen with me too. But yeah, like nothing has really been explained and like you're just kind of thrown into the deep end. And like this also seems to be a new situation for everybody, so nobody really knows what specifically is going on. But like they all have a context of like how powerful it is to be a lector, how powerful it is to be like the caster swordsman, like what the relationship is. And because Gideon is not the original like caster, she has no clue what's going on, and so we're kind of figuring it out with her. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It's kind of long, but that's okay. I guess, I mean, like, it's a setup for a fantasy book, so. But that's to be expected. Necromancers are my favorite fantasy trope, so we'll see how it goes. I'm not, like, anti-necromancer, but I feel like it can be overdone really quickly. But, yeah, that's it. Okay, I'll update you when I get, like, halfway or when I finish. We'll see. Hello. Okay, so an actual update where I can talk this time. I finished Gideon the Ninth last night. I rated it 4 stars. It was really enjoyable, but I felt like there were too many characters that weren't developed or explained enough. That was like my main gripe with it. So only a 4 star, which means I picked another book, but I wanted to start it last night. And so I did a little draw and I got ASAP, and I'm really excited about this. So it is the sequel to XOXO, and XOXO by Axio, and this is ASAP by Axio. And this book follows 2 characters we're introduced to in the first book named Sorty and Nathaniel. And Sorty and Nathaniel were the 2 characters I was the most interested in, and XOXO was one of my top 16 books of last year. I think I made it like pretty far in my little bracket too. I don't have my journal with me, so I can't double check. But I really loved XOXO. Like it just hit all the vibes. This one is a second chance romance, which I previously stated I'm not a fan of, but I think I would like to revise that statement. Because there's been several second chance romance that were like a part of a series, like the 3rd Dreamland Billionaires book that follows Cal. I love Cal, so I was like, I'm gonna read it even if it is a second chance romance and I think I don't like it, and I like that book. And there's been like 1 or 2 others that I've read where I didn't realize it was second chance when I picked it up, but then like I was invested in the characters when I like figured out it was second chance. And so I don't think it's second chance that I have a problem with. I think it is like fixing a marriage. And I saw somebody recently talking about the new Hannah Bodum Young book, and I think it was Ellen Catherine. Is that her name? Her name is Ellen. I know that for sure. I'll like put her channel up in front of my face and like link it in the description. She is absolutely amazing. She's so cutie patootie. And her accent, gorgeous. And so she was talking about how she realized after reading the new Hannah Bodum Young book, which, I mean, I haven't read. I haven't really no interest in reading it anytime soon. I'll get to it eventually, probably. But she was like, she realized she didn't like books where the couple was still together, but like trying to reconcile their relationship. And the reason I say I don't like second chance romance is because I read the first book in the, what's it called? The book club for brothers, the brothers book club, the base. I'll put the cover up, but it's like this baseball player, and he's trying to like fix his marriage with his wife. And I hated that book. I like considered DNFing it, and then I got like stuck on a plane. It was the only book I had, so I didn't technically end up finishing it, but I like wish I DNF'd it. And after that, I was like, I hate second chance romance. Like that was what put me on. And so, and like in fan fiction, it's not a trope I like. So, but like fan fiction tropes and like book tropes like don't always necessarily align. So anyway, I am now reading ASAP. I'm like just a little bit in, and so the plot of this one is Sori, who is a aspiring idol, and we're introduced to her in the first book. She and her ex-boyfriend Nathaniel, who is currently an idol, are basically thrust back together because Sori, she like does modeling stuff now, and she goes on this radio show and they play a little game like, oh, who's the most famous person in your contacts? And she calls one of the members of XOXO,
who doesn't pick up because he like just got off of a flight from Paris and he's like exhausted, whatever. And so the radio host takes her phone and it's like, oh, who else do you have? And they're like scrolling and they're like, boyfriend. And it turns out it's Nathaniel because she still had him saved as boyfriend in her contacts. So yeah, I am really intrigued. Again, these were the two characters that I found the most interesting because they were together before the events of XOXO. And then in XOXO, we see like their tension. And so I'm like, those were the story in particular. Her character arc was like absolutely amazing because she comes from this really rich family. Her mother is like the CEO of, what is it called, Joa Entertainment, which is the label that XO is under. And like she's this aspiring idol and this amazing dancer and like all this, that, and the other. But she like, her father is cheating on her mother and she can't talk about it. And like she has all these feelings about her family that she can't express. And like she has all these expectations. And then when people found out about the affairs her father was having, she was ridiculed for it. Because that's like socially unacceptable. And then, so now her parents are like in an unhappy marriage. They're like saving face because her father is a presidential candidate, which we're getting more into that plot line in this book. And then Nathaniel, he's one of the members of XOXO, and he's like the most like personable member almost. He's very like fun and outgoing. This book takes place 1 year later. So it's been a little bit of a time jump. All the characters, except for one, have graduated from high school, but he was like the youngest one, so it looks like he's gonna play less of a part in this one, because in the previous they were all in high school, and now they're not. Or maybe they were in their senior year and it's 1 year later. I don't remember the details. But anyway, yeah, I'm really vibing with it. This one could be a potential 5-star. Also, since I know like when I'm on planes, I'm in Vietnam right now. When I'm on planes, I can't always focus on like really heavy fantasy. So I was like, am I gonna be able to read Gideon the Ninth? Maybe not. So I downloaded onto my phone Ungifted by Gordon Corman. It's one of my TBR books. And I've read Schooled by Gordon Corman and absolutely adored it. And my dad's read Ungifted and he loved it. My dad's a elementary school teacher, so like books designed for kids with good messages. So if you're looking for something like that, any book by Gordon Corman, haven't read a bad one. And the thing about Georgie, I don't remember who it's by, but like the thing about Georgie, he loves to read to his class. Like almost any year, he like just recently found a physical copy of it. And so like he's read it to his class for the past couple of years. And like, I was there when they were finishing it, so I got to read the last like chapter of it to his kids. And like the thing about Georgie is just such an amazing book if you haven't read it. It's about this guy and he's a midget. His name is Georgie, and it's all the things about Georgie and how he goes through his life. And he like wants to be Abraham Lincoln because Abraham Lincoln is tall, and like it's just such a heartwarming book. And Georgie like learns to accept himself. So yeah, but Ungifted, I read that and I rated it 4 stars because it's nice. Let me like walk their face because it's nice and but like it's just a little young for me, so I still enjoyed it. That book is about this guy, what's his name, Connor, and he is like a troublemaker. He like has like impulse control issues. It's not directly addressed like kind of what he has, but like he like kind of fakes that he has ADHD, but like I think he might actually have ADHD. But he has serious impulse control issues, and it basically starts when he whacks this statue that's in front of his school during the big basketball game, and it's an Atlas statue, and Atlas, if you don't know, holds the world, and the world comes falling off and rolls into the basketball court. And so he gets in huge trouble for it. The superintendent like writes his name down, and then like he leaves the scene, and then the next second his assistant's like, oh, we need all the people who are going to the gifting program. And then he's like, it's on my desk, blah, 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 blah. Like he has to go deal with the situation in the gym. And so she picks up the wrong paper, and his name is Donovan. And so Donovan ends up in the gifted program when he is definitely not supposed to be there. And so it's kind of the story of like how Donovan grows as a person, and also how these gifted kid program kids grow. And as a person who like was kind of in the gifted program, it was a little bit of a gray area because I was only there for 1 year and I showed signs of being in the gifted program. I mean, I was when I lived in Texas, and then I moved to North Carolina and they put me in the gifted program because like I had showed signs of it, but I never technically tested into it there. fun fact about me. But yeah, that one also highly recommend. It was really good, but it's just like a little bit young for me right now. A lot of the like morals and issues that it deals with are very surface level, which like makes sense because it's a middle grade book. But yeah, it means it wasn't gonna rate it 5 stars. So that's the other book I read. It wasn't necessarily for this video, but yeah. Anyway, that's my update. Reading ASAP. Yeah. Okay, so I already said that like getting in the night, the characters weren't as developed as I wanted them to be, but also I can't get over the fact that some of them had last names based on what house they were in, and literally all day I keep thinking, what kind of dumb name is Silas Octakizaron? Sorry if your name is Octakizaron, but like, sorry, that's just a dumb name. You'll never guess what house he's from. And then what, Dulcinea Septimus? I'm gonna forget all these names tomorrow, but like, I'm just like having a little chuckle on like all the stupid number-based last names. Octakizaron, it's just so silly. Okay, that was really it. I just keep thinking about it. Okay, so I just finished ASAP. I adored it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, is it QC? Yes. Was the plot predictable? Yes. Was it still good? Yes. Did I rate it 5 stars? No. I'm rating this one 4.5 stars, and my main reason is the ending. I mean, I love an ending that wraps up with a bow, but this one, the problems just seem to kind of disappear, which is like so obnoxious, because like they had so much potential to like do a lot with like all the conflicts that were going on, and like some of them just like wrapped up. Like a character was just like, okay, so I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll just leave it at that. Everything was just a little too nice and neat at the end, and a lot of the drama, it wasn't really wrapped up, as characters just decided that they weren't going to consider it a problem anymore, which is like annoying, because like what's the point in having it as a conflict the entire book if in the last 50 pages you're gonna be like, oh, not an issue anymore. Okay, so since I did not rate it 5 stars, even though I did really enjoy it, I'm gonna pick another book from the jar. Yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm hoping for. Let's see. Out of the ones, I have my little journal here. Out of the ones I've read so far for this, one was a DNF, one was a 4 star, and then this one is a 4.5 star. So we're getting closer. Yeah, I don't think there's anything in particular that I want. I think maybe a standalone. Okay, we're gonna pick this one. What does it say? The Sins of Noel. I have no clue what this is. Let me look it up. Hello. So I like to try and do an update in the middle of the book somewhere. And so this is my update for ASAP. I am enjoying it. And depending on how the ending goes, this could be a potential 5 star. I'm like really vibing with it. I think that all the elements of the first book that I absolutely loved and adored still there. And the fact that it follows the characters that I was most interested in, also yes. So my only thing is Sori, and like we get this in the first book, but her character, her person is just very influenced by other people. So like she has a lot of like inner turmoil surrounding her mother and her father, because her father has cheated on her mother like at least 3 times. But he is like a presidential candidate, and she is the CEO of Joa Entertainment, which is a huge entertainment company. But her father also owns a majority of shares in that entertainment company. So like her mother can't oust him, but her father wants to keep playing like the family man for his political career. So like she's kind of stuck in the middle, and we get a little bit of that in the first book, but it definitely dives into more of it this book. And it definitely follows more Sori's story than like Sori and Nathaniel. Which like I don't mind. XOXO was also like that, where it followed Jenny's story and didn't really follow Joe. Was that his name? I'm forgetting now. But it mostly followed Jenny's story. And Joe was kind of just like an accompanying member. And that's kind of what this one is like. Like, I thought, especially since we got to know Nathaniel quite well in the first book, that he would play a more significant role other than just like general love interest. And like, he kind of does. But like, he's still really just kind of general love interest. Like, I think there's definitely a lot about him that we don't know, because the entire book's in Sori's point of view. So like, it's hard. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts right now. I'm 73% of the way through, so I'm getting there. Okay, so a little bit more about the plot of this. I think I mentioned it briefly, but Sori has decided she doesn't want to be an idol anymore, and so her mother says that if she helps this girl, Hemi, debut as part of this idol group ASAP, that she will like terminate her contract for her, and like figure it out. But the like thing of it is, Hemi has no formal K-pop training. She has like some dancing stuff, but her father is like he's like a rich person, and he has basically said he will invest in Joe Entertainment and like save them from going bankrupt only if his daughter debuts in this group. And so then Sori has to like help her debut into this group. And she's really nice, but she doesn't know about this deal. I mean, like, Sori knows, but Hemi doesn't. And so like, that's a little bit of a controversy thing. And then right near the beginning, they do like this TV show, like all the members of XOXO, and then Sori and Hemi and just like some other random characters, they all end up on this show together, and Nathaniel and Sori like have some moments, and then people on the internet start shipping them, and then so like there's quite a bit going on. I just kicked the door. There's quite a bit going on, and I don't want any of the threads to get lost, and I'm worried that it might. I don't think it will, but yeah, and I think this is just a duology, so this would be the last book. Yeah, because the other two characters in the boy group XOXO, because like so far, even though the main characters have been the females, each love interest has been one of the members of this boy group XOXO. But also like they're all in the same friend group, so like not really. So like that's not like the thread that's tying it together. Like some of the other like, so like the Dreamland Billionaire series, each book follows a different brother, and that's how like they get from one book to the other. Like that's not the thread that's holding all this together. It's like the fact that they're all like in the entertainment industry, and specifically the Korean entertainment industry. So yeah. Oh, Sori is also dealing with a lot of like internal conflict of like, she doesn't want to be an idol, but she doesn't know what she wants to do. I think it was made very, very clear very early on what her direction is going to be. But all the characters are like, oh, you'll find your way eventually, you'll find what you love to do. And I'm like, girl, I know exactly what you're gonna be at the end of the book, so like it's not gonna be a twist. And like they keep mentioning like, oh, you'll find your way eventually, and like she's like, oh, I'm not sure what I want to do. And I'm like, it was clear since like chapter 2 what you wanted to do. As soon as you said you didn't want to be an idol, I'm like, okay, this is what you want to do, or this is what you're gonna end up wanting to do at the end. So that's like kind of a thing that's going on in the background that's like kind of annoying me. The fact that she's like so I don't know how to phrase it. She doesn't like, she can't see what's obviously right in front of her. She's very much facing like the horror movie, like, oh, let's all split up. Like, no, don't split up, girl. Like, don't be stupid. Like, Sori, don't be stupid. Like, it's very obvious what you enjoy doing and what you want to do. Like, I don't know. It's like the fact, oh, she's just being obtuse. That's just a good way to put it. Like, you can do better, girl. Like, she's so smart. And like, she's a character that like, we're never explicitly told that she's smart, but she's clever. But we see it in the way her, like, that's the good thing about this book, is the characterization is so like show don't tell. Like, and it sounds like cheesy to say, but like we are never told like that Sorty is smart, that she is resourceful, that she is kind. We see it through their actions, and I really like that. But girl, you are so smart, and yet you are being so dense about this. So I think that's my only major critique, is that she's being very dense about what she wants to be in her future, and it's being made at least very obvious to the reader in a way that it makes it frustrating that she hasn't figured herself out. Yeah, especially since she's like my age. She has graduated high school, so I think she's 1 year out of high school, so she's like 18 or 19. But like I'm not sure, because the Asian ages are weird, because well, they're in Korea, but I know like in Japan, since they start their semesters in April, then the graduating seniors are like a year behind American graduating seniors, or like not quite a year, something like that. I don't know, the ages are always a little off from like American school ages, so it's kind of hard to tell. But she's like 18, 19, 20, in that range, and I'm just like, as somebody who is also 20, some of her indecisiveness is very relatable, and some of it is just frustrating, because like I'm indecisive about what I do with my future, but like at least the way it's being portrayed, you know what you want to do, you just don't want to admit it. Like, yeah. Anyway, that's kind of my one critique. I will let you know when I finish it, and if it's a 5-star, then we'll end the video. Okay, bye bye. So, The Sins of Noel, I will not be reading right now. It's the 4th book in a series that I've never heard of. I don't know why it's in here. I presume that the other ones are also in here somewhere. But also it does not have an audiobook or ebook. We're just not gonna. The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. This has been on my list to read for a while. Let me see if the audiobook or ebook is available. Okay, so the audiobook for The Kingdom of Back is available. The only thing I know about this going into it is it's a historical fantasy following Mozart's sister, and I think, if I remember correctly, she is also a musician, but because she's a woman in history, she's kind of put down and not really taken seriously. And so, but there's also like magic in the music, I think. So we'll see how accurate any of that is. I don't like to read too much of or any of the blurb before starting a book. I think it's just more interesting that way. So The Kingdom of Back. This is an anticipated read for me for sure. So yeah, I'm gonna get to it. Okay, so this is the conclusion of this video. I did not end up reading The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. I started mood reading because while this was like helpful in like bringing books to my attention, I was just like, I just wanted to mood read. I think that was like the thing about it. And I actually have had 5 stars since starting this video. I read All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, Deadly Little Scandal, also by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, Go Look Yourself by Sarah Rash. That one, I'm still thinking about Kristen Locke. And I actually yesterday just finished Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J Maas, the last book in the Throne of Glass series, which I also rated a 5 stars. So I'm definitely not feeling in a slump anymore. And I originally was just gonna like scrap this whole video, but I read so many feels like not the right word there, or phrase, but I read quite a few books for this and I still want to share them. But yeah, not quite the satisfying conclusion of reading until I find a 5-star, but I did find some 5 stars outside of this video and I'm not feeling in a slump anymore, so yay. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, that's what I got. I hope you're having a good day, a good night, a good morning, whatever time it is for you, and I hope to see you someplace else on the internet. Bye bye.